And we are live. Hello, viewers. We're going to be starting the faction mission soon. And I'll be asking Speedbooster dumb questions about the Crew 2 that probably have already been answered, Kava.
Probably.
I guess you could just talk about everything, to be honest. Everything that you can talk about. And then people can just ask you questions that you haven't been answered yet.
Well, I can basically answer every single question I know about it. So I know the answer for it because, well, we didn't have to sign an NDA or something.
Maybe you didn't because you came late.
Why?
Well, for the record, it wasn't behind closed doors, so that's probably why. Oh, no.
What?
Please tell my internet. Please tell me my internet isn't crapping out right now. Hold up. Better not start crapping out today.
Ha ha.
I haven't been streaming for the past 10 days. Well, actually 2 weeks probably already. Well, it seems to be stable now. Doesn't seem to be too pissed off. Although I'm using up pretty much all of my RAM. What is running in the background that's using up so much RAM? Oh, no. My virus scanner is doing a scan. Stop. That explains why it's getting overloaded. I just stopped the scan and now it shouldn't be overloaded anymore. I need to get more RAM soon. My thing is starting to get overloaded. My memory is pretty much maxed out. I'm like half a gigabyte away from it being maxed out.
How much RAM do you have at the moment?
8. I'm going to be upgrading to 16 soon. I have extra RAM sitting around. Okay, I think we're good. A little bit of unprofessional crap going around.
I think your viewers are used to it.
Well, they know for a fact that I'm not too professional, to be honest. Okay, the streams are hard to be 100% professional on it because there's always going to be technical difficulties. Somehow, someway, there will always be technical difficulties. So since you've experienced where are you? Okay, you're in the HQ. So yeah. Since you experienced the physics of this game and the Crew 2's physics, how would you say the Crew 2's physics stack up compared to this game?
Well, because we only got to play it with the gamepad, and it was a long time ago I played the Crew with the gamepad and gamepad settings, but I can say it's some kind of similar to the pad settings in this game. Maybe a bit better, but from what I've experienced, the cars are just, in the first moment, they kind of want to oversteer or have to spin out, but then suddenly, understeer is there. And I also tell them that maybe they should try to improve it so it's more direct, for example, like the boats are. There are the high-speed boats and the normal racing boats. The high-speed boats feel good, and racing boats are so direct, so if you just tap the joystick for a second to the left, it spins out almost, you can say, but yeah, it feels a lot close to the pad settings in this game, in my opinion.
Well, you probably haven't played the pad settings in forever. You probably haven't played it in the wild written version of the game, but whatever. I'll take your word for that. Because we have to wait for the beta to come out before all of us can try it out.
Yeah, I asked them out when the beta will come, but I heard now on IGN, or where was it, that it will launch when? In October? No.
September. They said in the next few weeks, so sometime mid-September probably, my assumption is.
But it's only the closed beta.
I just went to solo mode for this damn faction mission. God damn it!
Lol. You are very professional.
Yeah, no shit.
Well, maybe if I don't get the closed beta from signing up, maybe I can ask them to give me a key.
They'll probably give you a key since you played the game at Gamescom. I'm probably for sure gonna get it since I've contributed a lot towards helping the first game very well. And of course I played both betas, so I probably will get a very high chance of getting into the game, into the beta. Closed beta, you said. Why is it closed, though? They're always closed, though. You have to have a key in order to get in.
Well, the first one is always closed. Normally.
Is there an NDA under NDA? Wait, I assume there's gonna be an NDA for the closed beta. What in the hell is that thing?
It's a roof. I haven't even touched that car. It has 0 kilometers.
Okay, here's another interesting question. Is there any cars that were in the Gamescom demo that they didn't show yet?
Well, what did I see? I saw an RX-7 for drift.
That's
Oops.
already been shown.
Yeah, I saw 2 bikes, one rallycross bike. I don't know the names of them.
It was a
sadly.
KTM, I believe. Was it like, did it have a Red Bull livery on it?
I think so. I
Yep,
can't really
that's-
remember. I was more concentrate on racing with Paraglider. So sorry for that.
Well, Paragiebler is there, so they did invite him
Yeah.
to games. Oh, he lives near, like in Germany, so of course he got invited.
Yeah, but he also, Gatil also invited him.
Why not me though? Why did he not invite me? I feels bad, man. I feel insulted.
Wow, those brakes. Yeah, then of course we got the GTR, the Porsche, the Audi TT. Not really much more to see. So, for example, I think the only difference to the E3 build is that they got a little bit more to see, a little bit more events, and also some more skill tests.
Well, the game's probably ready to go, ready to be tested and everything, but they're just doing a few final tweaks. It's basically a final build of the game, but they just don't feel it's 100% ready. I believe they also had that Ford F-150 Raptor as well in the game as well. You could drive that, the ridden raid spec, but I'm pretty sure you didn't drive it though.
Nope. I only drove that kind of Indy car they implemented, the RX-7, and that was it for the cars.
And there was you basically didn't even see anything else that was remotely new or not even discussed by the developers?
I mean, everything I saw was already some kind of picked up by YouTubers from the E3 or
Right.
already shown somewhere, so it's just new players discover the game.
Alright, alright. In terms of the video and photo mode, how does that work, by the way? Is video and photo mode now one system combined together?
Yeah, well, I didn't try to play with it, but I saw Para a little bit and they also explained it to us. You have like a video mode, which always captures the last 10 minutes of what you have done.
Yeah.
Like a video mode, where you can directly edit it in the game. And you also see like a driving line from where you're coming and where you're going after that and every second. So you kind of have like a video editor in the game directly.
So that's basically like the the thing I suggested to them before. Do like a Driver San Francisco type replay mode that they had in that game. It's very much just like it, except much more advanced.
Yeah, probably. I haven't played that game for a very long time.
I like the replay mode of Driver San Francisco, where you could change camera modes, you could do action camera, interior cameras, etc. You could do that, so it basically sounds just like Driver San Francisco's replay mode.
Probably.
Which is awesome, by the way. Weather effects. How do the weather feel? Do they have like different weathers, like rain, fog, etc.?
There weren't. I think at the moment there was only sun. So it was only sunny. It wasn't really raining.
It does look like they have fog, but the fog is just really, really strange now because it looks so bright with the sun shining through it, as far as Arctic Games said.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it was playing on the PC or on the Xbox, but sometimes, for example, it felt a little bit laggy.
A little bit? Did it like it
Laggy.
drop below 60? But overall, did it feel like it was sitting at 60 frames a second pretty much 99% of the time?
I think so. But
Okay, so it's
still-
much more optimized. Fantastic.
It is, but still, in some parts, it felt like, okay, you need more hardware power.
Yeah, I guess that's fair enough. The PCs they probably had there were just barely able to run the game, to be honest. But they still have like over maybe half a year for them to actually fully optimize the game even better than it actually is.
Yeah, and that I think with the 16th of March, they just did the perfect date for release, because until then, Need for Speed Payback, or how I call it, shitback, will die out.
And then everyone will go to the Crew too?
Yep. So the Crew doesn't have any opponents, yeah, to compete against.
Let's see, is there any... I'm thinking of something else to ask.
Okay.
Go ahead, keep talking.
Yeah, but
Oh
for
shit.
example, shitback will come out in November, probably unfinished almost, with lots of bugs again.
Probably.
And yeah, then the Crew 2 and Forza Horizon 4 will, as always, probably come at the end of the year, so they don't get any competitors.
But at that point, Forza Horizon 4 probably will lose most of its fan base because, let's be honest, Forza Horizon series is kind of becoming soulless and dead, mostly.
Yeah, I mean, how I see the storyline of that game, the first Horizon was still the best. There was still the story mode, the second title, okay, still acceptable, but I don't really like the third one. It's just, okay, you set up some races however you want it to be, and that's it. So don't really have a goal.
Does the Crew 2 actually feel like it's as free as they say it is, like able to do whatever you want to do?
In what terms do you mean it?
Like being able to do
wherever
whatever you want. Pave your own road, pave your own story, do whatever you want in the game. Just have fun.
Well, we didn't get to know a lot about the storyline at all, so it was just okay, more donation, that's it. So basically just what we know from the trailers. They didn't tell me anything about really the storyline, what will it be or how it will be for competitions to set up tournaments. But for that, for example, they are looking forward, so maybe we can set up some.
They're probably trying to finish that up so that we get a good idea of how it works when the beta rolls out.
Yeah, but, well, for the story, as I said, not really much, almost nothing. We got only like 4 or 5 events for boats, cars, Indy cars, and rallycross, dirt bike cross, or whatever. I don't know what it's called, the discipline. But yeah, so they just have to wait and see how it will look in the end. But for example, for driving off-road now, making your own path, it's a lot more difficult to survive. So for example, that race with the buggy, we had that race with the buggy, and you basically have 2 options. Go straight, but it's risky.
Or follow the road.
Or go a safe road, which is longer, but safe. And now you don't just glitch to the side if you hit a tree or a traffic car, you're just basically stuck.
Alright,
So
makes sense.
it makes sense. I think if you really have to do a lot of races, or for example some time it takes through the forest, better already order a Thai massage after the race.
Okay, here's another good question as well. Did any of the events feel like they would be just like a grind, like the whole entire story mode would be basically like a grind towards obtaining cars, obtaining vehicles, upgrades, etc.?
Well, for example, just a side fact, how you start the events now, you drive through to the event, you don't press something, okay, I want to start it, you just drive through a section, then the car changes automatically to your favorite one. You can set favorite cars for each class.
Right?
And then all your crew members get an invitation. Either they join you or not. And then from that little pass, you have to drive to the starting grid.
Oh,
and
seamless
then,
multiplayer, I see, nice.
And then the event starts. So also you can maybe gain some advantage how you position your car in the beginning of the race. But yeah, we didn't have a lot of missions, just the one with the Porsche, which was already shown, then the buggy race, then also the one with the speedboats, and those other circuit boats through the... what's it called? Missing my vocabulary.
The planes?
For planes, we didn't have a race. But
Yeah, because
there
they
was
already
one
showed
with
it.
the demo. And I have to say, the planes also feel good. I mean, you can definitely feel they are not that direct like a car or that circuit boat, but still, they feel really good, and it will be probably hard
To
to
master them?
master those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for example, you got those tests where you have to fly through the city and have to position your airplane in the right angle.
Oh yeah, that skill. Okay, the new skill challenges as well. Fantastic.
Yeah. And for example, you can also find parts all over the world. In the air, on the sea, on the track. So we already we had our cars or vehicles leveled every single part to 200. And there was also one with 112, but yeah, everything was up to 200, so I think it will go again like, I don't know, 1200 or something. But you can basically now find parts all over the world.
From looking at screenshots as well, it actually looks like certain vehicles actually have certain level limits. Like the Street Racer vehicles have a limit of like 300 in terms of the vehicle level, and I think maybe some other vehicles have a higher level, and then so forth.
Well, I didn't took a look specifically at that, because right after it I couldn't even discuss the rest of the time because I had to catch my train. But yeah, we'll probably have different parts and different levels for each class.
Let me actually rephrase that last question I said. Does it seem like some of the events actually give you very, very little money in terms of completing them?
Well, those events only gave you like 400 fame points. So fame points are like the new reputation.
Also, those aren't bucks, those are just fame points.
I think you get money and fame points. Fame points is the new experience points. XP or EP, however you want to call it.
Right, so you couldn't actually gain any bucks at all through those things. They didn't set that up yet. The events.
Let me think. I think there was also some bucks. Yeah, you could also earn bucks, but it wasn't much. So in the beginning you had like 100k, but you couldn't spend it on anything because you already owned everything.
They probably just did
every
that
car.
temporarily.
And yeah, it's just they probably will change the rewards you get after each race. There you just got little prizes, so just for testing, for example.
Yeah, there's not really a point in giving you a ton of money, especially when you just can't really use it, to be honest. And they can easily change it later.
Yeah, I mean, just for the moment they only have to test it.
Exactly.
It's working.
Let's see, How do okay, here's another good question. How do the drift cars feel compared to this game? Do they feel heavier, looser? Do they feel about the same?
Definitely heavier because of 2 points. First, the performance. You didn't have a high level car. So for example, it's just like if you try to level a car with 300 points in this game, it's also harder in some cars, not in everyone, but some. And definitely because of the handling model. So we definitely would have to wait until someone tried that with a wheel. Or if there are wheel settings like in this one. Because, as I said, it is very similar to the path settings in this game.
They probably wanted to give a similar feel to the game to those that are veterans to the game, so that they can jump in and get to play the game relatively easily. That's what I'm thinking, at least. What about controls? How do are the controls completely different for the controller compared to this game?
I don't know. I think Paraglava sent. Wait, let me see the picture. Give me a second.
I do remember specifically that they actually switched the control layout of some of the stuff. Like, right on the D-pad now changed as the camera, back on track is holding both bumpers at the same time.
Wait, I will see, because, for example, you made a picture of the demo card and from Need for Speed and the Crew, how the pad layout is, well, at least what you could see there. Wait, where was it? to stop for a second.
I mean, you can send me that picture later. You don't have to send it right now. I can take a look at it later. But in general, did it feel like everything was just different with the camera views?
Well, the problem is I changed the layout of the controls. So I don't know what's default anymore.
All right, then you don't have to answer that if you don't know, if you changed
it
it.
was the same because a lot of games, for example, had the same layout. For example, A, Nitrous.
Yeah, okay. All right, fair enough. That sounds fair.
For example, if you get like in this game with Xbox controllers to open up messages, it's still Y.
All right, so similar layout, but they must have swapped out a couple of things to different places.
Yeah, probably.
Hopefully, they actually have areas for gear shifting specifically on the controller, not just like placed on the right stick.
Yeah, well, for example, if you want to change your car to a boat or to an airplane, you just press the right stick once for a short time, and then you hold the stick in the direction you want to change. So, for example, up for air, I think right for another car, and left for a boat.
All right.
And yeah, you can still fly down with a boat with 600 kilometers an hour. That was the first thing I tried out.
Now, in terms of the vehicle switching system, how do you feel that they implemented that? Do you like the seamless system of the vehicle switching? Pretty much.
Well, we didn't have the mobile tuner or mobile car dealer like in this game yet, so you always have to press start and then change the car. But I think the switching from the different vehicle specs, that's, in my opinion, they made it in a good way, so just on the fly change it without any problems.
Because from what I can tell, it's just basically seamless. You press a button, you tell it to switch to another vehicle, and it switches immediately. It doesn't even give you a black screen like in this game.
Yeah.
That's what I like the most about the Crew 2. Just that whole entire dynamic system of just no loading screens, very limited loading screens actually. And it seems like they've also done that with the events, like you said. Like you drive to the event, you drive through a checkpoint, and then, yeah, instantaneously puts you into the event.
Yeah, the only thing where you get like a loading screen or starting screen is when you drive to the grid position, and then the countdown comes and a little sequence 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, that's because it's placing you on the grid somewhere. It has to load you in onto the grid somewhere. You don't actually have to position yourself to a certain grid. You just get to the checkpoint, and then it will automatically put you in a specific spot.
No, you drive to the grid and you start just like how you put your car.
Oh, so every single person has a different place on the grid, and it's completely random.
Yeah, so for example, if you place your car 90 degrees to your opponents, well, you can tell you got a shit start. Or a bad starting position.
Well, from what I can tell with the version of the game as well, if you do position yourself not completely straight on the starting grid, it will automatically place you straight, just to give you the fairest chance to do it in the black screen. What?
Probably if you just turn around at the starting grid and you place yourself in the wrong direction, probably you get turned around, but I didn't try that. It didn't came to my mind.
Yeah, but the number one thing I actually am concerned about is when you finish the event, and you go to like a kind of a free roam system without the HUD. The number one thing I see is that players will actually be able to sabotage the mission because they'll be able to drive backwards after they finish the event and sabotage other people. That's the problem I see, especially with multiplayer mode. If they have that implemented into there like that, then that's going to be a very big issue.
Yeah, well, we have to wait and see what changes they still will do.
Yeah, but if they keep it like that, then that's going to be a problem.
Probably. Well, we still have the option. I mean, the beta isn't that far away that we can tell them feedback, and they will probably change it or implement something.
I guess.
So they can provide from crashing each other.
They probably already know about that system. They're working on fixing it, but at the same time, we don't know for a fact. At least make it so that when the player crosses the line, they go into ghosted mode so that they can't that nobody can crash into them, or they can't crash into you. That'll be a good option.
Yep. And another thing, I felt the slipstream isn't that powerful anymore.
Good. That's fantastic. So
At
no,
least
so that
how
you
I
don't.
felt it.
That's how you felt it. If it isn't that powerful, then that's good, because the fact that the slipstream was so overpowered just basically was no skill for everybody else. The whole they specifically said it's supposed to be competitive, and the slipstream system just doesn't make it competitive if they make it that overpowered. Because think about it, if somebody in the event like has a really bad start, they fail halfway through the race, and they get sent back very, very low, they'll use a slipstream to their advantage to get back up to the starting grid, and that's not really skill, to be honest.
Yep. Well, I have to say, for example, the slipstream and World of Speed, which just recently came to early access, how they managed to program it, it was pretty well. Because it wasn't, you had an effect of slipstream, but it only gave you a tiny little boost.
I'm still not buying that game. I'm still not buying World of Speed, to be honest. Well, I might.
Well,
I'm thinking about it, but I'm probably won't.
You know it's going to be free to play
Nope.
after it's released.
That's what I told you, but here's the thing. I actually looked more in depth to what the World of Speed developer said, and they actually said specifically that in order to play the game, you have to buy a starting pack. That's how it's going to be after the the early access. That's how World of Speed is going to be, like Need for Speed World back in the day.
Yeah, well, but still, I mean, for me, for the beginning, I don't have a problem to pay them 10 euros, so they just have a little bit more money to develop something.
And of course, and also they also specifically said that those that actually play during early access get a special bonus upon being that way. And of course, I believe they specifically said that you're co-owner of the game, technically speaking. I don't know exactly what it was about, but you can look it up. I'll probably find that for you, and I'll send it to you if I do remember.
Would be nice. Because I'm really looking forward to it, to complete it to almost 100% when anything new comes to the game.
Probably not too much new will come to the game. Depends. But anyway, that's a bit of a tangent. Let's finish up the conversation about World of Speed. That's a bit of a tangent off of the stream. So if you have anything else to say about World of Speed, just finish it up, and then we'll get back to the Crew too.
Well, we can talk about it later.
Yeah, we can talk about it later. But yeah, let's see. Is there any other things I can ask you about the Crew too that I remember off the top of my head, or should I just start asking the viewers about it? Asking the viewers to ask you questions.
Well, better you ask, because I don't know what to answer.
Also, viewers, if you have any questions in particular about the Crew 2 that that you want to ask the Speed Booster, be sure to put them in the channel. I'll read them off towards him so that he can answer them for you, if he can. So, yeah. Anyway, let's see. Traffic cars are not that nearly of a thing, but as far as we can tell, the traffic cars are recycled from this version of the game.
I don't have a problem with that. I mean,
I don't have a
for
problem with
what
that either.
design he wants. I mean, this one works, so why not?
Everybody's like, oh, they're recycling content, but yet they already are kind of. They're recycling the old models from this game in the Crew 2.
Yep.
The vehicle models. Let's see. Oh, how do you feel about all of the pre-order bonuses for the Crew 2? Like all the different ones, the gold, the ultimate, and then just the standard edition. How do you feel towards all of those? Do you think they're fairly priced or what?
I haven't really looked at them in specific, but I saw like a bike, a car, a boat. And
Well,
a plane.
I'll sum it up
What's
for
the-
you. Okay, the standard edition of the game is $60, but you pre-order it and you get the Legendary Motors Pack, which gives you the C63 DTM edition, C63S DTM edition, and that Harley-Davidson bike that they showed recently. But the Ultimate Edition will give you the Legendary Motors Pack along with a special pre-order, a special pack as well, with the F-150 Raptor, the Platis plane, and the Abarth 500 monster truck, along with some outfits. And that's pretty much it for that one. But for the Gold Edition, you get the Season Pass, and you get the stuff from the Ultimate Edition as well, and 3 days early access. And of course, it goes from $60 for this base game, $70 for the Ultimate Edition, and $100 for the Gold Edition.
Well, I think in the end you have to decide on your own what to choose. I mean, from what I hear, if those cars aren't OP or there's anything OP about anything from that pack, like Ferrari 458, then I mean, okay, why not just go for the standard edition for 60 bucks, and you can probably buy the rest of the pack later in the year, like I did.
There's also, they also had the Steelbook on the Steam Edition as well for the game, but I'm pretty sure that's an error because it's not a disc copy of the game. But if it comes with the game as well, that's still cool as well. Oh, and on that, the Steelbook as well, they had the 2018 Dodge Demon on the cover.
Ooh, that will be nice.
You can tell that it's a Demon because of the hood, and then if you also zoom in on another image that they had as well, it's got the wide body kit from the Demon as well. So we've got the Demon, the brand new one, hopefully, and that'll be the first. This will be the first official non-mobile game that will have the Demon, as far as I can tell. I'm saying demon wrong. I say demon, but it's actually demon. My apologies. I'm weird. But anyway, yeah. How do you? By the way, how do you think they actually managed to get access to all of those exclusive vehicles, like the Ford F-150 Raptor with the official livery from Ford, etc.?
Well, I probably think they made a contract with them.
Yeah, with Harley Davidson and a bunch of other manufacturers, it specifically said that they're actually on a 1-year partnership with the companies. So that's how they probably got all those exclusive vehicles, like the Demon, the new Raptor with that special livery, etc.
I mean, sure, they somehow have to advertise the game with something. I mean, there are probably a lot of people who love American cars. So, yep. So probably with the Dodge Demon, they will get a lot of attraction. And
the 2017 Raptor, that special raid one that they have. Which, by the way, that raid spec version of the F-150, the rally truck, that's actually based on a real life Raptor. It's based 100% on that Raptor from real life. What else? Oh, I actually discussed this with you as well, but as far as you can tell, there are no more full stock vehicles in the game.
Well, I didn't see them, so I don't really think you will have full stock vehicles anymore. You just buy the cars for each class you want.
That's what they probably did with the police spec vehicles as well. That's the reason why they implemented them into this game, just to test to see if that system will be a beneficial system in the Crew 2. And then in the end they decided that it actually is a beneficial system.
But you know that for the police cars on these games there are stock versions. So that's also
they're hidden in the files, that's the thing. But the thing is, they can have the full stock vehicles in the game, but they'll probably program them to be hidden away from the list entirely. They'll exist, but you won't be able to obtain them and you won't really know they're there.
Yeah, well, they were there in the Gamescom beta in 2016.
They probably removed them last minute, but that's beside the point. They were testing out something, I'm pretty sure, and they just decided to try that system, remove the full stock vehicles entirely for the police spec. In any case, that's probably what they're doing with the Crew 2 as well. They're removing the full stock vehicles entirely and just basically making it a spec to buy and the vehicle at the same time.
They'll probably get like, okay, you buy that car and you got it free for every spec.
Probably. There's another thing as well that I also heard about as well. The vehicles, when you actually buy them from the dealership, they have the option for you to do a color before you buy them, and of course a rim option as well. That's before you buy them as well. That's what I heard from an article. I don't remember exactly what the article was, but it was there. So they're going for more like a Test Drive Unlimited 2 approach, or Test Drive Unlimited.
That's exactly what I wanted to say. Seems to look like Test Drive.
Well, but what I was actually considering as well, but I never got a chance to do this, but I would like to see them do an option for like every single visual option, like the rims and the colors or whatever. Do like a little description saying what the color is called in real life. I mean, they don't have to do it with the colors or the rims, but do it like with the visual parts. Like certain parts, it's like, okay, carbon fiber headlights, stock front bumper, and then etc. Because sometimes you just can't tell what each part has on it. because it's rather difficult, especially back before the Wild Run version of the game. Even with the Wild Run version of the game, you can barely tell what's going on with them. That'd be really nice if they could put descriptions on all the visual parts, so that you know what you're buying. But then again, maybe the developers won't notice it themselves.
Well, for now, there wasn't any customization on the cars, so...
The only car that actually had visual customization on was the RX-7 Drift Spec, and that's it. Everything else had basically stock bodies.
Yep.
But with the newer cars and whatever, I can understand though. I can understand why they don't have visual parts, because they're still probably waiting for them to be approved. They're still working on them. They're just working on a game for it to be ready before they actually get everything else done.
Yeah, that's also the right thing to do. I mean, they got now 7 months to build on the game.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the script for the animation of the part being able to visually customize the cars does exist, but it's just not fully implemented in yet. What? You what?
What?
What? You said something, never mind.
No, I didn't. Well,
Anyways, yeah. What else can we discuss? Oh yeah, did you by any chance recognize the Crew 2's map by any chance? Like, think that it is at all the same thing as the Crew's map?
You have to say that, of course, there's some kind of recycle of the map. I mean, for what? Reconstruct a completely new map with a new track layout. But what they did, it's a little bit bigger, and everything got replaced. So the environment is completely different now.
And of course, there's also new road systems as well that exists in there as well.
Yeah.
That don't even exist in this game. Especially that one Japanese part of the map where there's like the Japanese arches, you can't drive on them in this game, but in the Crew 2 you can.
Yep.
The Manhattan Bridge as well, I'm pretty sure has been redone as well. It's got a new road leading to it. It's just all the roads are redone, all the textures are redone, everything is just brand new in the Crew 2.
And for example, they had to implement, of course, some rallycross, dirt cross tracks. Or motocross, that's the name.
They had to implement boats as well, so you can go from coast to rivers, so you can go from coast to coast. But from the surface, it doesn't really look like they added any new rivers. Really, it's still really the basic same shape. But they're probably still working on it. They're probably still working on adding new rivers.
Well, what I don't really like that much, how it wasn't that early alpha build, is that the map is white when you zoomed out. So only when you zoom in, it starts to get colored by the landscape.
Oh, it's white? Okay, I see what you mean by that, yeah. I don't really like that as well, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure that's how they did it to optimize the game, so it de-renders the map to pretty much be very, very low quality and etc. Hello, Dark K. But yeah, it looks like they've fully optimized the Crew 2, pretty much. Almost fully optimized it. I'm pretty sure it's about 90% fully optimized right now. And they still have time to make it better. But we'll have to wait and see. With time. And the developers themselves said nothing about beta access when the beta starts.
Nope. They didn't tell me.
They did say it on IGN's thing.
Yeah.
They said like in a few weeks.
Yeah, for example, when I asked them, when will be the close spell? This year or next year? The answer was exactly this one. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I completely understand.
I mean, I understand they don't want to rush it, and they don't really want to... They're just still trying to polish up, and actually on the Moto Games Q&A, they actually specifically said that they're still trying to polish it up, and they're actually saying that people are knocking on the door saying, hey, when's the beta starting? And they said, well, we're trying to polish up the game a little bit more, basically.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of people, like, for example, Race Master Dave.
Holy shit.
Who are starting really, we need infos, come on guys, we need something new. But, I mean, why should they even rush on giving us info?
Yeah,
the
exactly. That's
game.
what Racemaster Day doesn't understand. He wants information, yet if they rush it out
Yeah,
too fast, problems are gonna come up.
I mean, sure, why should they even give us now information? The game will come out in 7 months. It wouldn't even be a surprise if the closed beta comes like in January or December.
They said they're gonna have multiple beta phases of the game, which I'm
Well,
assuming,
that's
as far as
good.
I can tell, there's probably gonna be three closed beta phases. A beta phase in September, hopefully, if I'm not wrong, and then a beta phase every 2 months until the game's release. Nice. So I'm assuming a beta phase in September, then a beta phase in November, and then maybe a beta phase in February, and then the game releases in March.
Yeah, well, probably they will make in January or February the open beta, just to test it with a high amount of players.
Yeah,
at the same
exactly.
time. Because even though it's
Nice.
a closed beta and a lot of people would get a key or somehow enter it, it still isn't the same like when everybody is able to play it.
Hopefully I get accepted into the beta, that's what I'm hoping. But yeah, it looks like they're gonna be done with the game sooner or later. The beta's gonna come soon, they're almost done polishing it up, they're gonna be ready soon. So what do you think what stage do you think the Crew 2 is in at right now in terms of the Gamescom? Is it gonna be like early alpha stage? Well, not early, maybe
Well,
somewhere alpha stage.
it's kind of alpha stage. I mean, I think that the basic structure is already
There.
yeah, it's already there. It's already built, but of course we don't know how far they really are. I mean, they just showed us a part of the game, how it in basic works. So how the events works, how the skill tests. So you just could see a little bit of everything almost. So
Oh, here's
yeah,
another good question. How do the skills feel?
well, I only played like 2 or 3 and that's it.
Oh crap.
So
Did I bump you accidentally?
no.
It looked like I did. Anyway, so you played the plain one that you said was rather difficult.
It's difficult, I mean, for the moment. For every new game or every new vehicle or vehicle type, you have to learn the mechanics, how to fly
Yes.
them or drive
And that's how
them
you're going to
or
learn with
whatever.
them, the skill types. The skills
Yeah,
are going to
and-
be how you're going to learn it.
Yeah, for example, I immediately made the funny question, how do you want to steer the planes with a wheel? And I'm like, do you use the pedals
Oh,
to pull it up or push it down, and then with the wheel and the shifters you steer left and right?
Oh goodness.
So, well, yeah, we will definitely have to wait and see how.
Oh
they
my
will-
goodness. What the heck?
Whoop.
Wait,
Whoops.
what? You went through me.
Lol. Wait, I have to see that replay. If all right works.
Oh, does wall ride works? Yeah, that's what he just asked.
Shame on me, I didn't really try it, and then we didn't really have the opportunity to
Here's the
wall ride
thing.
somewhere.
I'm pretty sure they put that into consideration. They knew for a fact that it was a major issue in the Crew, so they probably must have worked on it for the Crew 2 as well to ensure that it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, I mean, I probably have the feeling that they thought about it for checkpoint runs or races, that they will set the checkpoints.
They knew for a fact that it was a massive problem with the Crew, and they just like, okay, we can't have this happen again. They call you Max. They call you Max Speedbooster.
Give me a second.
He's checking on his anime pictures now. His waifu pictures.
Oh, sorry, I'm still sick, so. Well, my real name is Max. I used to be called GSG Max Booster.
Okay.
Yeah, well, before that I was called Speedbooster27 as normal. But then suddenly one crewmate, who is no longer a member of the clan, said, put that GSG in front of your name, and I was like, GSG minus Speedbooster27 is way too long. So I thought about something and it came up to GSG minus Max Booster.
Alright. Makes sense. Oh. But yeah, don't worry about it, Asmir. I'm pretty sure they have that into consideration. They have in consideration that wall riding it was an issue, and they probably worked on making sure that it was not would not be a major problem. Especially with the bikes. Oh, jeez, the bikes having wall riding abilities when they first came out. That was awful.
Well, the handling model of the bikes, especially in dirt, were really good for me. I mean, sure, the jumps are still like kind of scripted, so if you have a specific speed, you will almost jump perfectly. But in general, they feel really good to handle.
Do they feel drifty by any chance, like in this version of the game?
Not that much. So for example, in the
so they bounced it.
So in a tight course with the dirt bikes, if you release the throttle and steer all the way to the left, you can really take those sharp corners without any problems.
So wait, what families do they have, by the way? I forgot actually. Did they have a motocross family in the game?
Yeah, well, there are some. Well, they had.
That means that the bikes and cars are finally going to be separate from each other.
I think so.
That's good.
I mean,
finally, they can have them actually the bike physics good and have the car or the bikes and vehicles separate from each other. Bikes and cars.
Well, I still think that there will be kind of some classes or events where they are mixed up, so cars versus bikes. But I mean, you wouldn't probably be able to drive an off-road car on a motocross track, so that definitely will be separated.
Okay, here's another good question. How did you feel about the stunt system, the dynamic stunt system that they implemented into the game in free roam?
Well, I played a lot of those races, events or whatever, so I didn't really get to play much the free room, but for example, what I saw is like driving on top speed or flying with the plane straight up and making some cool stunts, so that will probably give you tiny points for bucks.
Fame points, yeah.
And fame points, of course. Which you will use to get, yeah, climb up the ladder in storyline probably.
From what I said before, it looks like the whole entire dynamic free stunt system in the Crew 2 is basically like the free drive challenge, the free drive stunt system that they implemented in Wild Run, but just permanently now in free roam.
Yeah.
Which is good that they implemented it back in. But the question is, are they gonna have free drive challenges?
I think they skipped that.
They skipped it? Oh, jeez. Hopefully they'll...
I think I heard someone asking them, and I think they said they skipped it, but well, the game's not done yet, so
they might implement it in a later DLC. Who knows?
I think so, because a lot of people enjoyed doing free drive challenges, Arctic games. So.
Hey, don't be making fun of Arctic. He's my admin. He'll probably ban you for being for making fun of him now.
I'm just saying his free drive challenges are too long, especially for me on my time zone.
Hope they add more muscle cars. Yeah, hopefully they'll add more muscle cars.
Hey, hopefully they add more JDM cars. Right. In motocross track, I think it looks like avoiding those jumps by passing them on left and right. Actually, it's easy and makes you faster.
Yep.
Well, still, there we have to wait. I mean, in that race we had, you could drive past them and dodge them, but I think if we give them the right feedback, they will set the checkpoints, so we have to take the jumps.
Yeah, Asmir makes a good point with that as well. But yeah, the addition of more muscle cars and in general American cars, I agree with you on that. With Ghost Spider. Ghost Spider, yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you on that, Ghost Spider. We need some more American cars. We need a good balance of everything from Japan, America, Europe, etc.
Well, for me, the Crew 1 had a lot of had a good amount of American cars, a lot of exotic Europe cars, and only a tiny bit of Japanese cars.
Well, Japanese cars are very hard to get a license to, really, as far as we saw. The fact that we actually got the Nissan GTR R35 so late into the game, it just basically showed the fact that how hard it was actually to get them. But at the same time, considering that Ivory Tower seems to be now doing a whole entire 1 year collaboration with the manufacturers. I don't know if I used that term correctly. It's not really a collaboration. A partnership with the companies. Chances are we'll probably get more Japanese cars in the game. Hopefully something from Lexus as well. I hope to see Lexus cars.
What I hope for us more Subarus and Evos, definitely.
Oh, goodness. I heard a rumor back in the day, I don't know if it's true 100%, but there was somebody that said that the Crew is early beta phase, really early alpha phase, closed alpha phase, actually had Mitsubishis in their game, but then they removed them because probably Mitsubishi wanted more money than Ivory Tower was willing to pay for the license, so they just removed them. But I don't know if that was 100% accurate. Somebody from Discord actually said that. Some guy from Discord claimed that he played the alpha stage and said that the drift cars were already in there. The really early alpha stage of the game. The drift cars were already, and he said the drift cars were already there. The bikes that we already had from Wild Run beta were there, etc. So somehow, someway, I think it's not real, considering that I'm pretty sure they didn't even have bikes on their mind at the time when they first started out the Crew. They didn't even consider bikes before. So chances are he's probably lying or just trying to make himself look cool, making people think that he has information that's just bullshit. To be honest.
Yep. Well, what I think now about it, the name, the Crew 2, I don't really see it that fitting for the new storyline. I mean, where is the crew you're playing? Of course, you're still playing with your crewmates, but how is the storyline? You're playing one solo player, destroying the whole motorsport scene.
Well, think about it. The whole entire motorsport series is like a family. Therefore, you can also consider that as a crew as well.
Yeah, probably. I mean, in the end, you got every single class for you, but...
Any assumptions for Season Pass cars? No, I don't have any assumptions. To be honest, I don't actually see what they could do with the Season Pass. I just don't see anything what they could do. It just... The game is so completed. The game is so complete right now. I mean, I'm pretty sure they won't put the Porsches in there, considering that they were shown in Gamescom, and people see that they were added as a DLC, they get pretty furious.
No, I don't mean... Of course, the 911 GT3 will be in the normal basic game, but I mean, like for additional Porsche cars.
Carrera GT.
Oh Jesus, GT3 RS, my God.
No, I said Carrera GT.
Oh.
The Paul Walker car, you know.
yeah, I know. My
oh
brain
yeah.
isn't working. I need to
character
get,
customization. Do you actually think character customization is actually a thing for the Crew 2?
Yeah, it is. We already know that there will be kind of different clothes to choose from.
Yeah.
Oh wait, or was that Need for Speed?
No, that's with this game. The Crew 2 has that.
Okay,
they have that in the pre-order bonuses as well. They have different clothes for the different vehicles in the Ultimate and Gold edition of the game.
So yeah, we'll probably don't have tinted cars anymore.
I noticed that with the pre-alpha phase of the Crew 2, all of the cars actually have fully rendered interiors, so they do not have tinted windows anymore on the opposite player sides. That's not your car. That I mean, every car has a fully rendered interior. Every car has clear windows. Except, I'm pretty sure the gauges still don't work outside of interior view. So keep asking questions of Speedbooster, because to be honest, I'm actually running out of questions. Okay, car sounds. Do you think the car sounds are massively improved from the original game?
Ask me another question.
Too obvious.
The thing is,
RX-7.
Still, I don't really have in mind what the real car sounds or how it should sound in-game, or how it sounded now in the Crew 2, so...
RX-7 sound in the Crew 2 compared to the RX-7 sound in this game.
I think it was different. I can't remember exactly.
It was massively different, I remember. But did it sound really good? Or did you not have your headphones on, and you needed to clean your ears out now?
The thing is, I had my headphones only halfway on, so we could directly talk to the devs behind us. So I wasn't really focusing on the sounds. I was more focusing on just um, getting a feeling for the car handling and how the game works.
Okay,
Not how it
Asmir has a
sounds.
great question. Are there any female characters?
Whoa. Well, I think there will be.
Of
but I
course
don't
you'd
know.
look at that, you perf now. Of course you'd look, you
So,
perf.
I mean,
Somebody actually said,
kind-
do you believe in hacking?
well, there will always be hackers.
Yeah, there will always be hackers. But
I
I'm
mean-
pretty sure they'll have a system in place to prevent cheating.
Yeah, I mean, for example, Forza, they are pretty good at preventing hacks, and it's just like there will always be. But the question is, what does the company do against them, or the developers? I mean, just look, for example, at Need for Speed World. There were a tons of hackers. Everybody was hacking there. And you didn't have any consequences of hacking, and those hacks didn't got patched. So
They
you
started
could still
banning them
hack.
after a while.
Yeah, but still, those hacks were working after from 2013 or something.
The other problem as well with Need for Speed World, if you get banned, just make a new account. Start hacking again.
Yep.
With the
Don't
Crew
do
2, it's
fraud.
not that easy. You
Yep.
have to buy an entirely new game if you get banned.
It is coming out on 16th of March.
Can you
mean,
still
of
take
course-
road trips across the US in the Crew 2?
Sure, why not? Just
Of
meet
course.
up in the free room and drive together.
March 16, 2018, guys. That's when the Crew 2 is coming out. What are you doing, Bunta?
Dorifto! Oh, fuck. That was a traffic car.
Let's see. Is there any other questions you guys have to ask for him? Because I don't know if I'm going to end the stream right now. I think we still have some time. How about we push it to like an hour and a half today?
What time is it? 11? Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
I mean, that's
2018, not 2016. 2016, are you kidding me? 2016 was a year ago, dude.
He's using Internet Explorer.
Internet Explorer. Oh.
Happy New Year! The end is coming now. In 2012.
There's apparently going to be an asteroid flying past Earth in September 1st. Very close to. Let's go to Route 66.
You got 7 viewers, nice.
Oh, for fuck's sakes, I put in the solo again. You heard the beta's coming? The beta is coming, but there's no confirmation date as well. But I'm thinking it's sometime around September because one of the guys, I believe, there's actually 2 Stefans, but I don't know exactly which Stefan it was. It was not Stefan Bailey. Stefan, one of the Stefan community directors, specifically said that in a couple of weeks' time, the betas will start. The first beta stage will start. But that doesn't mean anything. A couple of weeks could mean 6 weeks, could mean a week, could mean 2 weeks, it could mean anything, to be honest. So we can't know for sure when it will actually start. We can only guess right now. Did you go? Okay, there's a question for you from Asmir.
I saw it. I didn't really specifically try it because I wasn't every specific event for the specific car, but
Yes, you can register for the beta.
I think if I remembered correctly, you get speed down, so definitely
That's what
the
I saw too.
control-
What the hell's that thing?
A 9069 Camaro RS.
Heh, 69,
Oh.
the best number now.
That's what she said. Well, again, Route 66, just like last time.
Oh crap! Yeah, let's just do it because it's 30 minutes approximately. Ow!
Scusi, mon chéri.
There are new cities that are the same ones. I think it's the same ones as far as we can tell. But we only got to play. They only got to play in New York City. That's the thing. So we're gonna have to
Well,
wait and see in the beta if they have any
we
new
could-
cities.
For example, we could have jumped also to the West Coast, but there weren't any events, so I wasn't teleporting there. But
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the people will be like, you're not supposed to go over there."
for example, there were already safe houses for every class, so those were already implemented. But it's just there were no events or skill tests. They just had like 20 skill tests placed all over New York or the East Coast state.
Mercord, Butza was not able to, Speedbooster was not able to figure that out because he plays with the wheel most of the time. But he says in terms of playing with a controller, it feels about the same from this game.
It probably
in his opinion.
improved, but we have to wait what they would still change about the
Butza
physics.
Speedbooster plays with the wheel most of the time, so it's not really that good of a comparison for him. Because he's not used to a controller, he's used to a wheel. I mean, you could have probably brought your whole wheel setup and be like, "Hey, bruh, can I try out with my wheel?"
Yeah, sure. Last minute, I almost got the train because of fuck Deutsche Bahn. And sure, I'm carrying a fucking wheel underneath my arms. Oh yeah, wait.
Put it in the backpack.
I only got it. Hey Dora, what's in your backpack?
These
I only
nuts
got
now.
20 minutes, so yeah, wait. Just give me 10 minutes to set up my wheel.
Oh goodness. What is this? What does this stream series become? A giant meme fest. New cities are the same ones now. We don't know for a fact. I already said that. Damn it, traffic.
Haha.
Oh, does it look like the damage model is completely removed in the Crew too? That's another good question.
Currently.
What?
Probably currently.
It
Because
does look
currently
like the
there's-
damage model still exists, kind of, but they haven't fully disabled it yet. Convertible cars, is that a thing? Actually, they didn't play with any convertible cars in the game. There was not a single convertible car in the game.
It wasn't available. We didn't have any, so...
Beta, we're gonna have to wait for the beta.
Yeah, well, I think because of the new characters, we might get them, but we don't know.
Keyboard steering will always be good. I'm pretty sure they will always keep the good keyboard steering. They have to create a good balance between keyboard.
Asimov,
What?
why do you care about keyboard steering if
Uh,
you're playing with the mouse?
Yeah, he plays with the mouse. That's a good point.
So why?
He's probably trying to appeal to like Acor or whatever. Those guys actually use the keyboards. But for those that still use the keyboard and it's not that good, they can always just switch to controller. When did Speedbooster play? He played it
On
the
Tuesday,
on Tuesday, yeah.
at
So
the
recently.
Gamescom. I mean, I also got a ticket for Wednesday and Thursday, but I already missed school at Tuesday, so yeah. I'm not that much of a bad boy.
What did your teacher say? You'd be like, you're like, Max, where were you? I was at Gamescom.
I was ill. I had some hurting at my stomach, so I wasn't at school, my teacher.
Now this is just going on a massive tangent. To be honest, after this, I'm probably for sure gonna end the stream off. Can he go again? No, Gamescom's already over.
Nope, it isn't.
Well, it isn't over, but the fact that Speedbooster is busy, and it's not really that simple to go from one place to another.
I have to say, for example, on Tuesday it was only for, should I say it, only for traders. So only big companies or people who would sell their games or whatever, or journalists had access to enter, but still there were a lot of kids. So probably Daddy invited them somehow.
Daddy,
But
can I go to Gamescom with you?
yeah, sure, just leave me alone. Yeah, so, but still was crowded, but it doesn't make any sense at all.
Asmir,
To
don't
go
worry
on
about it.
the
I'm pretty
Saturday-
sure the keyboard will still be good.
To go on a Saturday or Sunday, it's so crowded. It's like you're a fish in a can. You can't move.
Try ComCon. ComCon's even worse, I'm pretty sure.
Probably.
I think you
I
got the
mean-
weird people dressed up in like fursuits or whatever.
You know what funny? What was funny? I waited 2.5 hours at Project Cars 2. And after that I quit standing in the queue, even though there were only like 10 people in front of me.
Because you were tired of
So-
standing.
Yeah, because they had only like, okay, they had like 20 PCs with gamepads, but of course I wanted to play it with the wheel. And the problem was they were only letting them like, okay, another one, okay, another one. If they were playing like races of 3 laps, and people could do multiple ones, so you really would have stayed another 2 hours almost. Just to
Great.
play it like 10 minutes. And for what?
What else? That's pretty much all I can really think of. You guys have any other questions that are of relevance?
Well, fun fact about Need for Speed, it was empty.
Sucks to suck. Well, here's the thing. I'm pretty sure the reason why it was empty is because there was not really any major gameplay available for it. I mean, there's that one street
2
race you can
races.
play, but that's
The
it.
highest fire race, and you were basically stuck in the 4th gear. You couldn't pass 120 miles, even with nitrous.
In any case. Need
what
for Speed Payback's gonna be in trouble, I'll assure you that.
Well, what I found funny about playing the demo at the booth was that those people, they're like, okay, stay there, show them how what controls or set them up to so they can test it out. You know, those people who were invited for a day just to stay there. So they don't know anything about the game, but there was one guy standing right behind me, and after I was done, he was like, okay, how do you find it? I said, okay, it's definitely an improvement, but they have to rework on the physics for the handling of the cars. And he was immediately trying to change the topic only to the good aspects. Yeah, but the graphic was good, you had fun or not. So he wasn't even in a discussion of what my worries were about the game or what should be changed. And
Wow.
his only argument was like, okay, yeah, they're still in development, but what do you think about the positive aspects? Blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, just leave me alone.
Did you actually say that to him or no?
No, I just smiled and went off.
You saw the rear bumper falling off the F-150. I'm pretty sure the damage model still exists with the Crew suit, but I'm pretty sure they just haven't fully disabled it yet. They're just probably testing the game engine to see the limits of what it can do. And then later they'll disable the damage model. It's just basically a similar damage model to the Crew, but they just haven't fully disabled everything yet. They can easily disable stuff in the code entirely. I'm pretty sure the damage model script will be there in the Crew 2, but it just won't be enabled. I'm not going down that ramp. It's a bad idea.
I'm going. Oh no, drop the car. Screw it.
Ghost Spider, there was actually discussions going on with the people at Gamescom. They were not Gamescom, E3. The developers are saying that they wanted to disable the damage model to reduce the latency of the servers and therefore make the game run a little smoother in the multiplayer aspect. But at the same time, they're still working on the game. They're still working on all the aspects, and then they'll just start disabling stuff that they just originally planned wasn't going to be a thing. Yeah, they didn't really show the customization off. Like I said before, they're trying to focus on a working product right now. They are not focusing on making every single thing work right now, because it's just asking for trouble. And then trying to optimize it for that at first is going to be tough. I don't know. Well, actually, they'll have to optimize it for that. No, stop going off-road.
Well, I didn't try Project Cars 2 because the queue was too long, but I tried Forza Motorsport 7. The problem there was all assists. When I was like, come on, am I a baby or what? So the game looked fine, it handled good, but yeah, it's just you can't really feel the game if the driving assist for braking is braking you out in every single straight or corner.
Oh, by the way, to everyone as well, with Forza Motorsport 7, do not worry about a 100 gigabyte download because that's only for the Xbox One X edition.
Oof. probably because of 4K, but for PC.
PC, maybe it's the
Probably.
same thing.
So I think for PC and Xbox One X, it will be 100 gigabytes. But
It'll probably detect your graphics card and it will say, okay, do I download the 4K textures or not? If it's not a 1080, then it'll probably be like, nope, I'm not downloading 4K textures. Well, okay, not the 10 series, like the 1070 and the 1080. If it detects those, then it'll download the 4K textures. But if it doesn't, then it won't bother.
Well, but still 100 gigabytes seems a lot, so they will probably have a lot of events there to run.
Every single game has a high quality texture download at some point. Even whatchamacallit, even I believe it was Grid Autosport. Yeah, Grid Autosport had a high quality texture download, as far as I remember.
Yep, there was the one DLC. I just saw it recently.
That was free, I believe.
Of course, it would be a shame if you had to pay for it.
Yeah, it would be a shame, to be honest.
It's just like, okay, normal the crew users without Wild Run. Okay, you have to pay now to play the game for the new graphics, blah blah. That would be.
Yeah, that would be dumb. But it's curious to know as well, is the Crew 2 going to have the same exact really high download capacity for the Xbox One X and PlayStation Pro? Considering they run on 4K. Well, I don't know about the PlayStation Pro, but I know about the Xbox One X having 4K and 60 FPS.
Well, I saw that it was running in the demo on the Xbox One X, I think. Xbox One S, I think. And for me, it felt laggy. Completely.
Oh, here's the other thing as well. It's 30 FPS. That's the other thing. The Xbox One S is 30 FPS compared to 60 FPS, so that's why it probably felt laggy to you.
Yeah. Well, still, it didn't felt like 30. I don't know. It just felt really laggy for me.
Yeah, that's what 30 FPS feels like. If you're used to 60 FPS pretty much all the time, 30 FPS is gonna feel like it's lagging. That's what I experienced.
And then there's still people who think, oh, you can only see 28 FPS. Meh meh.
That's for TV quality, though. American TV quality is weird. In other countries, it's all the same, but for American TV quality, it's weird because it's like 29.99 frames per second or something like that. So that's why European DVDs will not play in America, because you have to have a European DVD player in order to play them, because the format is completely different.
I don't get it. I mean, just why don't watch a movie in 60 hertz? Just looks
because
way better.
TVs usually don't use 60 hertz. That's the way it is. CDs are 30, cable is 30, I'm pretty sure, except YouTube is 60. I mean, the TVs can support 60 and 4K, at least mine, I'm pretty sure, but at the same time, they just downscale it for some reason. That's beside the point. We're going off on a tangent again. How did you... Okay, here's another good, interesting question. How did you feel about the layout of the HUD? Does it feel about the same size as the Crew's HUD, or is it a little bit smaller?
Well, it's about the same, so...
Does it feel less obtrusive as a result?
Well, I think it's race modeled and it just has now a more fresh look, for example. I mean,
yeah.
I always wasn't really... wasn't really happy with the Wild Run layout. I mean, I like the original with the black background, so you could definitely see, for example, where the road is going on the minimap. But yeah, it looks good to me.
I felt the opposite way. The black background on the GPS and the speedometer just felt really obtrusive. It just felt like it really didn't belong there. But the clear background just looks a lot better. Just the fact that it's more simplistic and you can see through it. That's just what looks nicer, in my opinion.
Everybody with his own opinion.
Yeah, everybody with their own opinion.
Taste.
Everybody with their own taste. I mean, I don't have a problem with like HUDs that are that obtrusive, not like partially transparent. But at the same time, a partially transparent HUD is just kind of, to be honest, the best thing, really. It's easier to see past it, and it just doesn't block stupid things. What?
I just jumped on the house.
So you're still running your GTX 660?
At the moment, yes.
Wait, is that a 4 GB? Was that your 4 GB card, or what is it?
2 gigabytes.
2 gigabytes?
Yep.
Lol. It came with 2 and 4 gigabyte options back in the day.
Yep.
Well, thank God I'm getting an 8 gigabyte GTX 1070 someday when it goes on sale on Newegg.
Well, it probably will go again for like 400 euros or even less. I mean,
What?
I shoot my 1080 for 550. That's fairly a good price.
Jesus Christ. That's pounds, that's euros though. Euros and USD are different.
Yeah, I know you got like now, what, how much? 550, like 600 or 575?
Here's the thing that I don't understand as well. The GTX 1080 Ti is the newest graphics card, or is it just the 1080? The 1080 is like one of the newer graphics cards, yet it had no price inflation from the Bitcoin mining system. No price inflation. Everything else had a massive price inflation.
Well, the Radeons, RX 480s and 580s, and I think also the 70s, they just exploded in terms of price.
Okay, the 580 is actually the 570 compared to the 470 is actually $100 cheaper right now for me on Newegg. But it's a little bit more powerful, which makes no sense. Even with the current inflated prices from Bitcoin mining. That's what makes no sense to me. Oh yeah, that's the problem that everybody's talking about. The white HUD in the Crew 2, sometimes when it goes to like a bright part of the map, like the sun, goes to the top left corner of the map, the left part of the HUD actually disappears.
Wait, I just got a message on Steam. Oh, we'll check it after.
What, Crew messaged you? Nah.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I talked to him yesterday and the day before, but...
Yeah, well, he talks to you, okay. He talks to me too. I showed him a picture of my bad haircut and he still said that my hair still looks better than his. Even though mine looks like a complete mess.
I don't know how you're looking, so... I only know that old picture of you.
Please don't tell anyone about it. Please don't tell anyone about it. That's supposed to be private. I don't need weirdos like looking at me like, oh, that's what you look like. Actually, Asmir knows what I look like.
You know you can't block profile pictures on Facebook.
I didn't bother. It's so people can find me. Like if I lose something, they can look me up on there, and then they just can say, "Hey, I found your thing." My phone or whatever. I could also use LinkedIn as well, but at the same time, LinkedIn is a thing for business offers. To be honest. Anyway, go on a little bit of tangent again. Why do we always go on a tangent? Oh yeah, because we have nothing else to talk about with the Crew 2. But yeah, we were talking about as well. Here's the thing: the HUD as well. The major issue with the HUD for the Crew 2 right now is the fact that in the top left and right corners, the text is white, and if a sun is like in the top left corner of your screen, it'll actually make all the text in the top left of your thing disappear entirely. It's just gone. You can't even read it.
Well, still, I say the same thing. For example, like Need for Speed World, there's still the chance that they will change it or make something about it.
Yeah, they'll still change it. I'm pretty sure they'll make it like with this game, with the little grayish background. They could still do that and do the same thing with the other thing, but at the same time, it'll kind of look like the Crew's HUD as well, a little bit. Well, I wouldn't mind that too much. They could just put like a gray background around each number in the background, so that if some kind of light shines in front behind it, then it won't really be completely gone. You'll still be able to read it, kind of. Oh, jeez. But yeah, I see what you mean, Asmir. The question is, as well, the final question I'm pretty sure that I'll ask you as well. Is the Crew 2 worth the hype?
Well, definitely more than Need for Speed Shitback.
Oh, I don't mind actually Payback. Payback doesn't look that bad, to be honest, but at the same time I want to get the Crew 2 still. I can only buy one game. It's either Payback or the Crew 2, and the Crew 2 looks like a much better game.
The Crew 2.
It looks more fun.
Need for Speed gets a lot of hype, and by a lot I mean a lot, because it's an old franchise and a lot of people
want it back.
Want it back. Want an original Need for Speed back, something that has the flair and the setting of the old ones, not that shit they are producing nowadays.
Let's be
And
realistic though. All the old Need for Speed games were pretty shit though. Underground had pretty shit physics. The Underground series had pretty bad physics, but nobody really cared.
What?
Most Wanted and Carbon had pretty bad physics in today's
no,
standards.
they hadn't. They,
They
had
were just-
really good ones.
They were just wonky. They were just weird. They acted weird sometimes.
No, they were just like perfect arcade physics.
For me watching Crew HS play it doesn't really look... they don't look completely stable though.
Well, in my opinion, they definitely are way better than the shit drifty thing they're producing nowadays.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, I will say this for sure. Carbon's drift physics looked really strange.
Well, don't talk about drifting in that game. That doesn't make any sense at all.
It's trying to emulate Initial D before Initial D even existed.
Initial D is from 1998.
Oh, really? When was Carbon released, though?
2006. You don't know
Oh,
that?
I didn't know.
Shame
Okay,
yourself.
I don't follow the Need for Speed series anymore because, let's be real, the Need for Speed series died a while back. After Hot Pursuit. 2010.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
2010 wasn't bad. It was still a pretty good game, but at the same time, 2010 wasn't the game that everybody wanted. Let's also be real as well. Hot Pursuit was trying to emulate the older style of Hot Pursuit games, and it did succeed pretty well, actually. That's why people liked it. They appealed to it. A lot of people appealed to it because it just reminded them of the old Hot Pursuit games. But the Criterion physics kind of ruined it a little bit, but it was still pretty fun.
Well, I have to say that those drift physics were the best ones they produced up to date. Yeah.
And
Because,
then...
for example, Most Wanted 2012.
Yes, I was about to
shit.
say. It's
Rebels.
Burnout with a Need for Speed cover. That's what Most Wanted 2012 is.
And I mean, I even found it funny how a woman in the press said for Need for Speed is just like, it's an action game. It still is a racing game with races, but nowadays you also have the opportunity to play an action blockbuster. And I was like,
Oh no.
what the fucking hell? Since
Yep,
when is
Fast
Need
and
for
Furious. They're trying to be
Yeah.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah, basically, but I'm just like, that doesn't need Need for Speed. Need for Speed needs just a good story. With
Not like
races
what
and
2015
cops
had.
and yeah.
2015 looked pretty cringy, actually, to be honest. I'll be honest. The story looked promising, but there was a lot of cringy moments in 2015.
I mean, I don't have a problem with
And inconsistency.
real life cutscenes, but it's just make good ones.
Yeah. The acting in 2015 was just not that good. Let's be real. With Spike's character, he was weird. Like, he didn't like drifting, but whenever he wasn't introduced to drifting, he'd get all salty about it. It
And
made
that
no
made-
sense.
Okay, we got Spike, who's crazy. Then we got Amy, who's probably a lesbian. Then we got the orgy partying, how's it called, the blondie? And, well, then the hardcore gangster who... I don't know who's called, but yeah. How, had blonde, long hair. That
Yeah,
really
him.
just missed
Whatever his
that
name.
point. Shit.
The only good the only good actors in Need for Speed 2015 were like Ken Block or the bosses. Ken Block, Ryu Watanabe, etc. Those were the only guys that were actually serious about their role. Everybody else, they didn't give a shit.
Wait, Rio Watanabe, that was Pro Street, mate.
No, what was his name?
Eddie?
No, not Eddie.
Angel?
No. The guy that makes the Porsche body kits.
Ah.
The RWB.
Oh, jeez, how was it called again?
Ken Block and that guy was the only ones that took their roles seriously. Everybody else just didn't give a shit.
Oh, that big dude, yeah, with this crazy hairstyle.
And then like Spike being like, "Oh, I don't like drifting." It's like, "Why didn't you invite me to drifting?"
I mean, I'm like, okay, the idea of making like, it's more like a street race setting for that game, but still, it wasn't really... It's just, I mean, okay, come on, I play it casually, slowly, 100% in 14 hours. For sure. I mean, that's like... nope. I mean, for example, for most ones, just a good example, 7 hours as a speed run to complete the whole story.
Magnus Walker for sure, yes, but Magnus Walker felt like, it seemed like Magnus Walker was always on something. He felt like he was high all the time. And then Spike as well. I don't know what Spike was on, to be honest. He was on something. He was either on something or he wasn't on something. The times where he said he doesn't like drifting, he was probably not on anything. But the time where he was like, why didn't you invite me to drifting, he was probably on drugs. Magnus took his voice acting, his character acting seriously. Ken Block took it seriously, and then the other guy that did the RWB did it seriously as well. Oh, and that guy with the weird Lambo as well, with neons and stuff.
Well, it's weird for our culture, but there's actually a big scene in Japan.
What was it? The Style Kings of Need for Speed 2015. Those guys took their acting seriously. Everybody else just didn't care. I mean, I get it. They were trying to make it look like hip and whatever, like a bunch of little kids screwing around. But at the same time, it was pretty cringy. Let's be real. I mean, I have nothing against 2015, but at the same time, 2015 had a lot of problems. It was very, you could tell it was very low budget, in a way.
Well, only the handling model was shit.
Yeah, the handling model was shit. The storyline was a little weird. Morashi, there we go. Who's Morashi? Is it the guy that does RWB? Oh, Morashi is the guy with the Lamborghini, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I think that's it with the Crew 2 discussion with Speedbooster. I'm pretty sure nobody else has any questions because, to be honest, I'm pretty sure all the other questions will be answered when the beta comes out for the Crew 2. Which we're going to have to wait for sometime in September. So, yeah. Thanks to those that came out with the stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully, this cleared up some information for you guys about the Crew 2. And if you did enjoy the stream, give the stream a like and stuff. And I hope to see you some other time in the stream. I will try to stream every single Friday at around this time. And so, yeah, I will see you guys in the next streams. Let me do this.